All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video titled Wrestlemania 41. The last time is now. Okay, so as we know, WrestleMania 41 is coming up this weekend. And of course, your brother Kanaiba is going to have to do a video series on WrestleMania 41. The same way I did last year about WrestleMania 40. Only this time we're going to do things a little bit differently. Last year I did the video series on WrestleMania 40. I actually did the video series a little bit after WrestleMania 40. This year, I'm going to try to put this video series out before WrestleMania 41. Okay? Because what you have to understand, looking at this esoterically from a spiritual vantage point, this WrestleMania 41, the script that they're sticking to, is really a continuation of last year's script from WrestleMania 40. Okay? So what I want to do with part 1 and possibly part 2 is going to be a bit of a recap. Okay? We're going to touch on the things that actually transitions into WrestleMania 41 from WrestleMania 40. And make no mistake, in these first 2 videos, there's going to be a lot of I told you so's. Because a lot of the stuff I said in the WrestleMania 40 series, we are actually seeing come into fruition this year. And I said all this stuff way last year. Okay? And you're just now seeing a lot of your decoders say a lot of the stuff this year that I really said last year. Okay, I was all praises to the Most High. I was pretty much pinpoint on most of the stuff I brought out in the WrestleMania 40 series. So we're going to be shedding light on that. Okay, because that's what's going to transition us into WrestleMania 41. It's pretty much the same script. Okay, it's a lot that we have to go over. And in this video series, we're going to touch heavily on the number 17. Okay, because that is a focal point in this script, in this esoteric storyline. Okay, with an honorable mention to the number 47. We're going to touch on that number a lot as well. But really the number 17, because that's a focal point here. Okay. As you know, Mr. John Cena right now, he's tied with Ric Flair for the most world championships in the WWE at 16 championships. And this year at WrestleMania 41, he's going for number 17, the 17th championship to break that record. That's if he beats Cody Rhodes, who is the current WWE champion. Okay? And make no mistake about it, okay? We are actually going to touch on this from a biblical vantage point as well. Because as I always say in my videos, there is a left-handed understanding and a right-handed understanding to everything. And make no mistake about it, there is a heavy biblical understanding, right-handed understanding to this storyline as well. And I'm very excited about getting into that part, which I'll probably save that for my last part, the biblical perspective. We're going to save the best for last. Okay? No pun intended, because that's John Cena's mantra. The last time is now. Okay? So, without further ado, we have a lot to talk about, and I'm excited about this. So without further ado, let's get into this video series. Okay, so starting off, we're gonna go back. Let's recap to way last year. Last year, of course, you see I did a video series on Wrestlemania 40. Okay, this is the thumbnail that I made, right? Titled Wrestlemania 40, Kobe Year. The spiritual meaning on the left and right hand side. Okay, that was the title of this video series. And of course, I made it known that this particular video series, that they were venerating Kobe. Okay, it was centered around Kobe Bryant. Okay, we're going to get into that. And I also touched on how the color scheme, the theme for WrestleMania 40, of course, was centered around the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, I said this in the video series as well. Okay. And of course, I believe that WrestleMania was in Philadelphia at the Eagles Stadium, right? So now I'm going to show a couple of screenshots from those video series that I did last year. Okay, let's look at a couple of screenshots from, I believe this is part 1. Okay, let's take a look. So do you remember this part that I brought up in the video series? Okay, this is back in the day. This is Roman Reigns along with his cousins, who are also currently in the WWE. Roman Reigns, of course, is in the middle. And this is their the inner city football team that they played for as youths. Okay, when they were youths. That's Roman Reigns in the middle, sporting the number 18, okay, which is really an allusion for 666. And of course, you have the Uso twins on either side of Roman Reigns, right? And behind the Uso twin that's wearing the number 33 is Roman Reigns' late brother, Matthew Anoa'i, aka Rosie, right? But let's put emphasis on the fact that they played, the inner city team they played for was the Eagles. Okay, I brought all this up way last year. This is an I told you so moment. And you're going to see why this is an I told you so moment in a minute. Okay, but they're playing for the Eagles. Okay, and again, I want to put emphasis on Roman Reigns' late brother, Matthew Anoa'i, is standing behind the Uso twin that's wearing the number 33. The number 33 represents what? Sacrifice. So with that in mind, let's move on to the next screenshot that I did. Now, this is them when they were actually even younger. And in the front is Mr. Roman Reigns. They're still playing for the Eagles, right? And he's wearing the number 47. I told you there's going to be an honorable mention to the number 47 in this video series. Okay? Everything should already be coming full circle. Okay, if you've just been paying attention to everything that's been going on. Okay. And he's wearing the number 47, playing for the Eagles, the inner city team, Eagles. And he's wearing the number 47. Bear that in mind. Now, and let's continue. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now, this is more information that I brought up last year in the WrestleMania 40 series. Okay, and it reads, it says in January 2014, Anoa'i, which is talking about Roman Reigns' late brother, Matthew Anoa'i, was hospitalized due to congestive heart failure, with which he had been diagnosed years earlier, and arterial fibrillation. It says Anawai's CHF was related to weight gain as he struggled with a chronic knee injury that also caused hip issues. Now, here's the point. Now, watch closely. He died on April 17th in 2017, 10 days after his 47th birthday in Pensacola, Florida, due to complications related to congestive heart failure. Do you not see that? Okay, so we see this vibration of the number 17 and 47 dealing with Matthew Anawai, Roman Reigns' late brother. Okay, now let's move forward and let's put this all into perspective. Let's look at the next slide. So in this slide, we're going to put focus on Donald J. Trump, Mr. 9/11 himself. Now look at this. It says in the end of 2024, Donald J. Trump is elected the 47th president of these United States of America. Now, granted, I have to say I told you so. Okay, because again, all this happened the same year as WrestleMania 40. Okay, in fact, this election happened after WrestleMania 40, the same year, but it happened later that year, and I already shed light on that number 47. I told you we're gonna give an honorable mention to this number 47 because it plays into this esoteric storyline as well, leading up to WrestleMania 41. Okay, so now with that, let's move forward. Okay, so in this slide, it reads Super Bowl 59, Caesars Superdome. Okay, it says Donald J. Trump, as the 47th president of these United States of America, is the first and only president to attend the Super Bowl. Okay, now the fact that this particular Super Bowl that he attended was at the Caesars Superdome lets us know one thing, that America is spiritual Rome. Like I've been saying in past videos, America is indeed spiritual Rome. It's the resurrection of ancient Rome. Okay? And he's the first president to ever attend a Super Bowl. As the 47th president, he's the first president to ever attend a Super Bowl. And what teams played in this particular Super Bowl? It was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. That, you already know I gotta say it. That's a checkmate. Okay, but again, this is all a part of the storyline, the script that's transitioning us to WrestleMania 41. Right now, we're laying the foundation, the transitional foundation, okay, that started with last year's WrestleMania. It started last year, and it's leading us all the way up to this point that we're at right now, okay? So with that, let's move forward. So if you take a look at this, let's recap. Let's bring it full circle. So starting from the left, you have Roman Reigns, who as a youth played for the Eagles inner city team wearing the jersey number 47. Then to the middle, you have Roman Reigns' brother, Matthew Anawai, on April 17th, 2017, dies at 47. To the right, you have Donald J. Trump, elected as the 47th president of the and is the only president to ever attend the Super Bowl. A Super Bowl in which the Philadelphia Eagles won. Do you see how that came full circle? Do you see the script? And that's what's crazy. That's how you know these people, a lot of times they are born into this, okay? All the way back from when Roman Reigns was a child, they had this thing scripted. And this is just on the left-hand side. They had this thing already written out. That is insane. But again, do you see the connection between the number 47 here and the Eagles? But do not get it twisted. We're going to deal with that number 17 because, again, the number 17 is really the focal point in this particular series. Okay, and as you see, Roman Reigns' brother died on April 17th, 2017. And that's a pivotal year, that 2017. Later in this series, we're going to deal with it. Okay. But again, a lot of this information, again, I brought out last year, and it's just amazing. All praises to the Most High. We're seeing it coming to fruition this year. We saw the script last year. Okay, this is just truly amazing. Okay. But now, with that, let's move forward. And as we see here, both the names Cody and John equal 47 in gematria. And we just look at that. To the right, you have Cody, which equals 47, and John, which equal 47. And then when you look at each cipher, it's a perfect synchronization. Perfectly. Every number, every cipher, perfect. Do you really think that's just by happenstance? No. Okay, so even the characters that's in the main event of this year's WrestleMania 41, their first names come out to equal 47. Again, am I reaching? Am I making this up? How can I force fit something so perfectly? It's because I'm not force fitting it. This is a part of the script. Okay? And if that's not enough for you, let's look at each cipher. Okay, and we're going to start from the right. When you look at the reverse reduction, it comes out to be 16, correct? Right now, John Cena is a 16-time world champion. Correct? Then when you look at the reverse, that's literally the reverse. 61 is the reverse of 16. Okay, John Cena is a 16-time world champion. Correct? Then when you go to the reduction, the number 20, Cody Rhodes and John Cena will main event WrestleMania 41 on April 20th. Correct? Again, and lastly, the ordinal, both of their names come out to equal 47, and which again that just plays into the whole script that we've seen in the previous slides. Okay, if that's not enough for you, I really don't know what to tell you. Okay, but with that, let's move forward. And what you look at here, Mr. John Cena is 47 years old. And he will be 47 years old as of April 20th, when he will perform at WrestleMania 40 to try to win that 17th World Championship. Okay, in fact, his match in WrestleMania is actually taking place 3 days before his birthday, as you see right there. So they made sure that he performed in this WrestleMania at 47 years old. You can't do it at 48. You got to do this when you 47 years old. You got to stick to this script. Okay? But again, is your brother Kaniba reaching? Am I reaching right now, or am I on point? Okay, you have to look at this from a spiritual vantage point. This is really blatant at this point. That's why I said there's going to be an honorable mention to the number 47, because it plays a role in this script. All right. So, with that in mind, let's move forward to the next slide. Okay. So, with all that in mind, allow me to remind you that I said most of this stuff way last year in my WrestleMania 40 series. Okay. So again, I'm going to say, I told you so. Okay, I'm really just being silly right now. But again, it's seriously, it's all praises to the Most High that, you know, a lot of the stuff that we saw way last year and that we called way last year, we're seeing it coming to fruition. It's just the Most High giving us confirmation that, you know, we were pinpoint on this. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to touch on another aspect of my WrestleMania series from last year. And that's the aspect of Kobe Bryant. Okay. I said last year that last year's WrestleMania was centered around Kobe Bryant as well. Okay. And again, along with what? The Philadelphia Eagles theme. Right? So now let's fast forward to a video that here recently was floating around social media right before the Super Bowl of this year. This video was floating around. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about. All right, let's check it out. Now look at this slide before we actually get to the actual video. Look at this slide. It says Kobe Bryant. Right before Super Bowl 59, there was a viral video of the late Kobe Bryant wearing a Philadelphia Eagles jersey and singing their anthem. Now, am I crazy? Am I reaching? Okay, again, you saw the thumbnail of my WrestleMania series last year. It's WrestleMania 40 Kobe year. And we know last year's WrestleMania was Eagles themed. Then you fast forward to this year, right before the Super Bowl, you have this video floating around of Kobe Bryant. And he was singing the Eagles anthem with an Eagles jersey on, a Philadelphia Eagles jersey on. Okay, so again, that is a checkmate. All right. So with that in mind, let's actually take a look at the video in question. All right, let's take a look.
Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown. 1, 2, 3. Hit them low, hit them high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles.
Checkmate. Again, you cannot make this up. Okay, obviously this video was done before 2020. Okay, because Kobe Bryant died in 2020. So they chose to bring this video up this year, right before the Super Bowl. They already had this in their archive. Because this plays into their storyline, their script. They took a video from from before 2020. Okay? And they're just now they're bringing it up into fruition this year before the Super Bowl, because it ties into this whole big storyline. That's a continuation from last year's WrestleMania 40, going into WrestleMania 41. Okay? So with that in mind, let's move forward. Okay? All right, so here we have a slide with Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, aka Gigi. Okay? It says Kobe Bryant wears the Philadelphia Eagles skull cap at the last NBA game him and his daughter ever attended. You see it right there. Okay, he is indeed wearing the Philadelphia Eagles scully. Okay? So, and also, he's also wearing what? The orange hoodie. And we know the color orange represents what? The number 33. The number 33 represents sacrifice. Okay? Now look at that Eagles logo that I actually implemented here. It tells us what? That this football organization, the Philadelphia Eagles, was established in 1933. Coincidence? Nope. Okay, but let's continue reading here. It says Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, along with 7 others, die in helicopter crash on January 26th, 2020. Now keep that date in mind, January 26th, 2020, because that's very important. Okay, let's continue. So what did the Philadelphia Eagles post on their X account on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death, just before this year's Super Bowl? Okay, so let's go to the next slide and let's see what did they post on their X account, formerly known as Twitter, on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death. Let's take a look. This is diabolical. That's all I can say is this is diabolical. If you look to the left, this is what they posted on their X account. Look at the top. That's Philadelphia Eagles. All right. And they posted this picture of somebody that just got out of a helicopter. And they're saying, just drop down to say go Birds. Right? Now, we just watched that viral video that was going around right before the Super Bowl of Kobe Bryant basically saying the same thing. He had the Philadelphia Eagles jersey on and he was singing their anthem. Right? Go Birds. And now look at the date. Look at when they posted this. January 26th, 2025. Now look to the right. When did Kobe Bryant die? January 26th, 2020. Again, this is diabolical. But it's ritualistic nonetheless and a part of the already pre-made script from last year's WrestleMania. We see this. This is clear as day. If you can't see this, then I really don't know what to tell you. Okay. So now, as we see, all of this is just a continuation of the storyline from last year's WrestleMania. Okay, and we already know that last year's WrestleMania was Philadelphia Eagles themed. So now, this is from last year, right? Let's fast forward to this year's Super Bowl, right? This year's Super Bowl had two teams competing, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's look at the last slide. Who won this Super Bowl? Who won this year's Super Bowl? Let's take a look. Now, would you look at that? The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. Can we say predictive programming? But look at the score. Look at the score. The Eagles had 40 points. What was last year's WrestleMania? It was WrestleMania 40. Oh boy, all praises to the Most High. Okay, we saw this coming already. Okay, the Eagles had 40 points. Again, this is a continuation of the storyline from last year's WrestleMania 40, which was Eagles themed. Okay, now some of you may say, well, how do you explain the Kansas City Chiefs score? Well, I can explain it. I actually had that pegged too. Do you remember in my WrestleMania series, we talked about what was known as the Great American Eclipse that happened last year? Remember, I talked about that in that video series. Remember that eclipse? When you look at the route of that eclipse, that route formed what's known as the Aleph Tav in Hebrew, the first and the last letter in Hebrew. And remember, I told you all that what number represents Hebrew? It's 22. If I was a betting man, I really could have put money on that game. We already we touched on the number 22 as well, dealing with that eclipse that happened right around the time of WrestleMania 40. I believe it was the day after or the day of, I forget, but we touched on that. Okay, so all of this was a part of that script from last year that we already talked about. All right. But anyway, that is going to bring us to the end of this video. And again, the title of this video is WrestleMania 41. The Last Time Is Now, Part 1. And as we already said, that Part 1 and possibly Part 2 is pretty much us laying the foundation, the transitional foundation from last year's WrestleMania that's leading up to this year's WrestleMania. And I already said there's going to be a lot of I told you so's in this particular video, as we saw. Okay. And of course, we had the honorable mention of the number 47. Okay. I know it was a lot that we exposed in Part 1. We came out swinging. Okay, but it's only going to get better. Okay, so like I said, we have a lot to talk about. I'm very excited about this. And let's keep this thing going. So with that, and as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, and I do so by Hashem, which means in the name of Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, whom the world knows as Jesus Christ. And I want to thank all you brothers and sisters for tuning in. I hope this video was informative and edifying. And until next time, Shalom, family.